Thanks, Chris, for the introduction, and thank you, everybody, for taking time for this webinar. I'm going to start sharing my screen while I do my own introduction. My name is Javier Ramirez, and I'm the Practice Director for the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations Business Unit at Turnkey Technologies. We, as part of Turnkey, we have a lot of experience with manufacturing companies. Doesn't matter what it's the type of manufacturing strategy that your company needs. You know, it's a make to order, a make to stock, an engineer to order in or inside different manufacturing types, right? So we can manage discrete manufacturing, we can manage process manufacturing, and also we can manage a mixed manufacturing mode, right? So I am proud to say that Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations is capable to handle all these type of strategies and industries out of the box with certain functionality that you will be presented today. So once again, welcome, and I'm going to start with my PowerPoint deck. After that, we're going to jump and start looking into some of the screens and some of the capabilities of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation under the supply chain approach. So that being said, first thing, just as Chris mentioned, the ERP is just part of all this whole experience that you can have with Microsoft, right? So it's not an entity that it's traveling by solo, right? It's an entity that it's surrounded by a lot of different things and a lot of different possibilities. So possibilities such as application of IoT, application of Power BI to start designing insights, right? To start designing KPIs, and in top of this, or on top of this, application of Power Apps, a Power App that could allow us to create or make some actions or trigger some actions inside the ERP without touching it, right? From a KPI, I'm running under my minimum level of stock. Okay, I will have a Power App on top of that KPI that will allow me to trigger a production order. I will be generating, or I could be generating Power Apps to my end users, to my distributors, to make me know where my final product is going to be installed, right? As a manufacturing company that we provide warranties, that's kind of a classic scenario. It's like, yeah, I have distributors. I'm sending my serial numbers to them. But after that, I'm kind of blind. I don't know where that material ended up, right? I need to start having communications with my distribution, or distributor systems, right? So that's probably going to reduce my efficiency. So what if I create Power Apps for my distributors, or whenever they are selling something, they just need to scan the serial number, they will put where's the address where they are selling it, and then I will know where my technicians need to go to perform a service. Things like that, that sounds kind of easy, right? It's actually a combination of all these technologies, Power BI, Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and all that is going to get to one place where all my information stays, which is my ERP. Right? So that is the nice thing about the Power Platform with Microsoft. Right? That's where the market is headed. Right? So you can put whatever type of information, no matter what's the source, you can drive it to your ERP and store it. Okay, so you can start using intelligence and predictions, right? So let's go and let's move forward. As I was telling you at the very beginning of my introduction, so what are the supported production types that Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operation has out of the box, right? So we do have discrete manufacturing. Okay, we have process manufacturing. Other thing is we have lean manufacturing, so we have a chance to manage Kanban orders, Kanban rules, and we have, of course, a mixed mode of all of these, right? Since we are talking about a world-class ERP, right, as you have a chance with Dynamics F&O to create as many companies as you need, as many business units as you need, and as many sites as you need inside every single business unit or every single company. Probably one of your sites is dedicated to discrete manufacturing, and another of your sites it's dedicated to process manufacturing. Hey, can I have different rules inside one same company in my only ERP in one tenant? Can I have that kind of difference and business processes that will be different by site? not even by company, right? By site, the answer is yes. You can have multiple sites, and you don't need to do the same thing in every single one. You don't need to do the things in the same way in every single one. So the sites are independent entities inside a business unit, inside a company that will allow you to have that diversity of products and production types, right? So again, you won't need external tools, external solutions in order to put together the different business processes that your company needs. So just discrete manufacturing, well, we all know it's just kind of the basic manufacturing where all the products at the end of the day can be composed and we can decompose it in the same structure that they were, right? It's assemblies. Product process manufacturing, well, and first one is based on bombs, based on routes, based on resources, based on capacity, based on capabilities, based on resource attributes, right? Process manufacturing, at the end of the day, it includes another concept such as co-products management, byproducts management, yield percentages, and replace the BOM concept with the formula concept, right? So we won't have a way to decompose something that has been already mixed, right? But we have a way to have co-products that can be used in another batch order, right? Or can be sell, or we will have the opportunity to have byproducts that probably we're just going to scrap them out, right? So that's something that it's kind of the difference between this. In lean manufacturing is basically just kind of a make to order, and it's just in time strategy, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to produce this. I'm going to put this on my line. Okay, I need right away a transfer order from a different warehouse, and that is going to fulfill my line. And then the first step is this one. The next step is that one. We will need to have the material ready on that station by the time this item arrives. And then we're going to start building what we call our Kanban flow. Okay, so a dashboard where the sequence of the Kanban it's able to be shown, and well, at the end of the day it reduces our lead times and our excessive inventories in a lot of different places inside our organization. And again, the mixed mode, right, is can we use a discrete manufacturing where part of my process is not Kanban control, but part of my process is Kanban control? Of course we can do that, right? So one operation from a production process can get or can be the input for to initiate a Kanban operation. And then that Kanban operation output could be the input again for another different sub-assembly production order. So that's kind of the design and the flexibility of the system based on the standard tools that we do have will allow us to do that depending on our customer needs. Basic manufacturing elements, well, doesn't matter what it's the type of production order, the elements are not going to change. Either it's a bill of materials or a bill of materials, a formula, routes and operations, and resources, right? So during our walk through the system, I will show you, and sorry, this image is a little bit small, but I will show this on the ERP. We have a bill of materials with unlimited levels to be developed. So it doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30 levels, right? It's a solution that can support as many levels as you can and as well as many types of lines, right? So a bill of materials doesn't need something to be consumed, right? Doesn't need to be something that it's stocked. Like we can have bill of materials that can be type vendor, so that means it's a subcontractor. We can have part of the bill of materials that could be a phantom, which means that, yeah, we need to have it on my design because it's part of my structure, but I don't need to stock that part, right? Because it's just a sub-assembly of two pieces that it's going to take me 1 or 10 seconds to produce. I don't want to generate a production order for that. I just want to consume whatever is underneath that phantom. So that is another part to do it. We have the classic one, which is an item that needs to be consumed at the workstation at the time we are performing work, right? So we're going to show you what are the different options that we do have as a BOM. Talking about routes, we can start at a company that needs just simple routes, okay? That it's kind of the standard stuff, right? So 10, 20, 30, 40, everything in a sequence. or we can go to route networks that could be as complex as you need. In this scenario, well, we have two routes that are parallel, and then they're going to join after the other two operations that are also happening at the same time. All these four needs to be joined to perform the operation number 30, right? So we can start building route networks based on the operations and on the order of the operations. Okay, so so this one actually talks about the routes and operation concepts. Okay, so you need to have operations, you put them all together, you create a route. Okay, resources. Well, the resources at the end of the day, we can make a summary of resources type machines, right? Resources types as tools, resources types as human resources or employees, right? So those are kind of the main resources that we use when we talk about manufacturing. Human resource, tools, equipment, or machinery. Okay, so those are the main type of resources that we do use. So all these combined, at the end of the day, they are going to provide us a Kanban, a manufacturing order or a production order or a batch order in case of um, in case we are using formulas. And well, the next step that we're going to be talking about today, it's my production control and scheduling. At the end of the day, okay, so I have all those inputs, right? I have those elements in place, and I have my calendars, I have my capacity, I have my capabilities, I have everything that we know what's going to be my BOM, I know what's going to be my formula, what are the benefits that I will be obtaining from the ERP, right? Well, the benefits is we're going to be able to use master planning to run and schedule, right, planned production orders. As Chris stated, the system will give you insights and it's going to propose you what you need to perform. What do you need to do in order to satisfy certain parameters or criteria such as demand or forecast, right? So the system will process and put all this in a blender and it's going to tell you, hey, how many production orders do I have to release as of 8/15/2021, right, in the next 3 weeks, so I can see as a production controller what do I need to take care about based on the demand that I have out there. Right? I don't need to have everything on my plate. I don't need to see things that I need to deliver in 4 months. I need to see the things that I need to deliver in the next month so I can plan my resources. I need the ability to see the operations that are on the floor. Okay, what are the deviations in those operations? Which ones are the teams that are more that are busier than others? So those are kind of the insights that we will take a look today with this production control and scheduling. I will be showing you a Gantt chart or the way and a scheduler could go and see, okay, I have all these 3 production orders. Let me see what is the priority based on, I don't know, the customer type, the customer ID, based on the product, right? So you define what is going to be the priority of their production order so a planner can see it and schedule accordingly. The system will tell you, hey, this is how this is my suggestion, but if you want to change it, let's do it on a Gantt chart and on an interactive way. Um, Finally, we're going to talk about execution, and the execution is not other but what are the guys on my floor going to be doing? What are they going to be using, right? Is how easy it's going to be for them to process an order inside F&O, and that's where we are going to introduce the shop floor control device for manufacturing execution. You have a login, you have touch screens that the users cannot move, so it's all the time the same menu item. So they log in, they will be able to see a screen where all their assigned work is going to be. Okay, they can select it, they can scan it, they will be able to see the picture, instructions of their job, start the job, which is going to start recording time to my route card and start putting real time in my production order, report the progress, and if we can stop because I'm going out for lunch, I can complete my operation, I can put how many did I have with error, what kind of error happened, right? And all that will be feeding back the production order so my manager have my real-time information, okay? So that's basically, give me a second, let me see if there is something that I am missing in here. Yep, those are kind of the documents that you will be able to see, instructions of how to perform assembles, how to perform the operation that every single user is entitled to. And finally, by the end, well, important for our administration area and our production management managers, well, is start looking in the cost control insights. A classic question every Monday, right, week by week in our in our company meeting for a supply chain or our summary for the week is like, hey, how much cost did we have, or what was my variance for last week for the production orders for direct materials? Okay, so we had a variance of plus 20%. Okay, what are the reasons? Okay, what about machines? What about indirect costing? So in here you will have a way to obtain a report that will show you what is that variance composed by in a certain range of time or for a specific production order. And here is where you start making adjustments, right? So you start looking like, hey, I'm consuming more materials when this is the product and this is the station. Okay, what is going on with other stations I am not consuming? Is it the human resource that I need to get trained? Right? Is this the machine that it's actually getting old and it's or it's the tool, it's the cutting tool, right? That we are using on that. Is that because of my vendor? It's a different vendor the way I'm purchasing it from. So you can start taking and getting into the root cause of the problems. But if you don't know where your variances are, then probably it's going to be really difficult for you to dig in what will be our root cause of the problem, right? So that's the importance of this cost control insight other than just money, is just allow you to see where we can have variances and where we can fix it and start studying your numbers. That's the end goal of the ERP, give you insights, okay? With a lot of work in the middle, right? A lot of inputs, yes, but the output will pay it out. So once I finish my PowerPoint presentation, let me then just introduce you to the 365 F&O environment. And it's taking a little bit to share. Let me go there. There you go. Okay, so this is the way Microsoft Dynamics F&O can look when I log in as a regular user, right? Of course, right now I'm a system administrator and I have different or several ways to look into it. I can have one dashboard or right away all my workspaces available with all the things that I need to perform today, right? Such as an approvals. So you can see I have a list of the activities that I need to complete or are assigned to me. And these ones could be, as I told you, is approvals for workflows or actions and activities that I need to perform. Let's say you are on an engineer to order manufacturing strategy, right? So as an engineer, I need to know what kind of cases are assigned to me, so I need to put hands on and start developing a BOM, right? And start looking out for materials and talking to my purchase agents to see what are going to be my prices. So all these activities can be listed in here. Okay, so I can actually just log in and see what do I need to do for today or during this week or during the next 2 weeks and list them out. Okay, other option, well, is just to take a look at this. Now, flexibility about how a user wants to see this. So let's say I want now to see my, I'm just going to change this one. I'm going to say that I want to see my employee sales self-service, right? View. Instead logging into F&O and take a look at this screen, well, that user is going to take a look or see the following. So it's a different arrangement of the screen, right? I will see what's my position. I will see what's the work assigned to me. I am interested probably in to see how many quality orders do I have out there without going anywhere, right? I can have what we call tiles. My activities in the next 32, in the next month, I have 32 activities. In the next 90 days, I have 63 customers. So every single link that I want to have, I can have it on my workspace. So I don't need to be traveling from one site to another. When I make a click on the quality orders, for example, right, it's 221. So, well, those 221 are going to be in here, right? We will have a possibility to say this is open, right? What are the type of testings? perform results, I can obtain data from here. But the important thing is the management of the tiles inside a workspace is going to give you the insight that you want to have, right? These tiles are designed by every user. Every user define what they need to see, okay? Those are not something that you cannot change in out of the box, and if you don't want to see quality orders for production orders, say you cannot do it. No, these are customized and well personalized tiles and personalized links to the information you want to see. And again, you can see your career information, you can see your timesheets, right? For companies that they are actually doing timesheets under an engineer to order strategy, you could do it from here. You can see what are your certifications and add a new certification. You can perform different things, right? The skills and actually have links to Power BI dashboards, right? So it's like, hey, yeah, you know what? My role is to be a warehouse manager. Okay, so I'm going to take a look to dashboards that are in Power BI right away, right, built in. I will start looking at what's the processing time per user, right, number of pairs or number of pieces. Okay, so which ones are my best pickers, which ones are my best performers on the floor. So you have here the user IDs, you know how long it's taking them to process a production order of a certain product, right? So by day, so you can actually also measure performance of your system, right? So basically, this is all the powerful things that you could do. So actually, you could come here and hit open in Power BI, and now instead just being looking into it, I can actually modify and create, right? We will have all our fields over here, right? And we will be able to start editing all this information, right? We have our filters, we can add more filters, we can add more fields, or we can add more dashboards. Okay, so that is the Power Platform stuff. So this is what I wanted to show you about navigation. It's pretty simple, right? As you can go all the time to your main screen by clicking that finance and operations stuff. You can open as many different working tabs as you need. And today, let's just start with the very first one, okay? So production performance, okay? This is, at the end of the day, part of what we do have as out-of-the-box reports. But again, you can modify them as you need. But the important thing is once you start dropping data in the system, these dashboards start compiling it and processing it. Okay, so we could see what it's kind of, how many production orders do we have per date, right? We can see what it's kind of the number of productions by product. We can expand this and put the focus mode. So right now you have audio products as categories, car products. So this at a glance, let me see what I am producing the most inside my four walls, right? So what is taking me the more time, what I am focusing on, so we can have an R&D team doing more of that, right? We can have decisions making and which components do I need to take a look for the purchasing side, because those are the ones that I am consuming. That's my 80-20, right? What are my orders delivered on time? 23% of my orders have been delivered on time, so I'm doing something wrong, right? So I have a way to filter here by date, so I can say from and to. So this is a little bar that we could use, right? So in order to obtain these numbers. So other of the things, as I was telling you, the variances. Okay, what is the variance by date? What is the variance by product? So you can focus on enhancements, right? What is the variance per resource or resource group or cell, right? So you can dedicate your enhancement in there. So those are kind of insights that you can have. And again, these are totally personalized, right? So you can personalize whatever you want in here. Again, if I hit the edit general, you can add in here a new tab, right? And start pulling data from here. It's like, okay, so I'm going to start doing my own reports, and you can design this as you need, taking any single field that it's available. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go back on top of this, and then I'm going to start looking. This is one of the very ends of, sorry, or the main ends or the main things that we want to get to. Right now, how are we going to be doing that? Okay, that's one of the important things. So first thing is, let's start talking about products, right? So what is the workspace that I will have for discrete manufacturing, and also there is another workspace for process and Kanban, but I'm going to focus in this today. So I'm an engineer, right? And I need to make sure that I want to have visibility of how many product change requests do I have, right? I need to see or have visibility about how many bombs that I am creating haven't been released. Well, again, it's all these styles that are out of the box will give you that insights. Okay, those insights. So product changes, these are the product changes that are in there. Missing active bomb versions. I'm very good on this one. Every bomb that I created, it's active, right, on my company. So I don't have bombs missing to be active and assigned to a product, right? So in here, I want to have a link directly to all my release products. Okay, so these are all my release product. I want to see, let's say, a product, right? So I'm going to talk about today from the designing mode about this product. We have a car security package, right? We have a car wheel, we have our car and our frame, right? So this is what I sell. I sell this car security package. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the versions that I do, at the bomb that I do have in here, and how I can see what is the bomb level and how it's designed. Okay, so this product, it's composed of two levels of a bomb, right? The first one, it's an item, and the second one, it's a security package installation, which, as you can see in here, I do not perform. This is performed by a vendor. Okay, and the vendor that performs this task is this one. This is my subcontractor. So this means that if I need to ship out something to their facilities, the system can control that shipping. The system will create a purchase order inside a production order, so I can add the cost of this subcontractor into the final cost of my product, right? Now this car, well, it has sub-assembly levels, right? It's composed by a car frame, it's composed by wheels, and it's composed by an engine, right? So this is my second level. Hey, wait a minute, I really don't need to stock car frames, right? I am not on the business to stock car frames. I do it and I perform this every time I generate an order for a car. So that's where we apply the phantom concept, right? The car frame itself is going to be part of my structure, but it won't create a production order by itself. The production order is going to be at the car level, but underneath the bill of materials, well, when I build a car, I will have a car wheel, a car engine, and two different frames to be consumed, right? Which is the structure of this phantom. So this phantom is in there. It's important for my design, but it's not going to drive production orders or batch orders or Kanban um, or a Kanban order. Okay, I will consume what is underneath. That's the phantom concept that the system can use. So as you can see then, we have several ways to manage this, right? We have vendor line types, we have regular item consumption types, which I need to purchase and consume out of my warehouses or my locations. I have phantoms, okay, which won't generate a production order, but it's going to actually just let me consume what is underneath it, and basically we get to our top. Okay, so this is a simple bomb, but I think it's representative of what you can do. Levels, yep, as many as you need, right? This frame can have a bomb underneath it, and then that can have as many bombs underneath that as you need, okay? But the concept and the intention of today is to let you know what are the different line of types that we can actually accomplish. Other important thing is the consumption, right? This is going to, hey, do I have a back flush? Do I have a forward flushing on my cost? Right, is when I will be consuming these materials. In Dynamics 365 F&O, you have the capability or the capacity to consume materials by operation, right? So this security package installation is going to be consumed on operation 10, right? This one, it's going to be consumed at the very end of the production line, right? I don't have an operation for this. So the way we set up our route, we can define the way we perform consumption of materials, right? And as you can see, it doesn't need to be black and white. Every material can be consumed at every operation, or consume everything at the end, or consume some parts at the very beginning, right? So it's a combination of it. That's the flexibility. So as part of the BOM, you can see how this vendor is a service type. So that means that we can add services on it. So it's not just a classic concept that, hey, you need to have pieces in order to consume pieces, right? And well, that's basically what we have as part of our BOMs. As part of our routes, sorry, I'm going to show you the following item. Well, I'm going to go through this one as well. Let's see how this is done. If I go to my route, well, this is just having one operation. So let me just jump to a different product so I can see one with more operations. Okay, so I have this manufactured product, right? It's a blower actually in here. So I'm going to take a look at my route, okay? And this has 4 different operations, right? It's operation 10 for assembly, a testing, a cutting, and a packing. Okay, every operation has their number. Every operation has a runtime, which can be defined in minutes or hours, depending on your setup, right? And basically what we do have, it's an important thing, is the resource requirements. What type of resources can perform this? So if I go to applicable resources, I will be able to see who can perform this work for me. Okay, I just have one worker. It's a human resource, right, that can actually perform this thing. On the testing, let's take a look. The requirements, this is a machine. So applicable resources, I will take a look. I have 3 different machines in here. If I take a look at the resource itself in here, well, I can just make a click, and then I will be able to see which ones are the capabilities of the resource, right? What is the calendar of this resource? If I go to a calendar, I will be able to see what's the standard work, right? When the working times are available. So in this will allow us to do maintenance, right? If I'm envisioning a maintenance during next month, okay, I can schedule it in here on my calendar of the resource. I can put the downtime in here so the system won't take it as part of your capacity to perform operations, right? And this goes the same way. I will try to show you. It's the type. If I try to create a new record, is we have vendors, we have human resources, machines, tools, locations, and facility. Why do we have vendors? Because we could even manage the capacity of a vendor to produce things for me. If I have a subcontractor, the lowest or the deepest level that I can go is, hey, you are my subcontractor. What is your capacity for me across the entire month? What are your resources? And then you can even plan the resources that they do have assigned to you for your operations. Okay, so those are kind of the different levels of information that we could have. And well, once we have all that stuff, right, and everything together, I'm just going to be kind of right now, I'm going to take a hat of a planner, right? So I'm on my master planning dashboard. Okay, I'm going to hit the run button in here for my master planning. Okay, I'm going to select right now the records that I want to include because I don't want this to make it really long, time consuming. So this is my master plan. The system will start reading my demand as of today, and it's going to start proposing me what do I need or what do we need to produce and purchase, right? What is urgent, what is delaying my sales, what is delaying my forecast. Okay, so right now putting all that into the blender, and it's going to suggest me my next steps. Okay, so it says operation complete, and I can come here and just click planned orders. Again, this one I am doing it really manual today, but it doesn't need to be like that, right? It needs to be by batch, probably at the end of every day. You will decide the way we are going to regenerate the information. Is that going to be net requirements, right? Or it's going to be net change. Okay, so we can run it for net change instead every 2 days, for example, or every day, and then we are going to run it and clean it up probably every month, right? So we can have different strategies of planning, right? So, but the idea is the planner will have this dashboard every day. What do I need to do, and what are the system advices, right? It's like, hey, this is my demand, right? You need to produce this manufactured product. How many pieces? 5, 2, 1, 3. Why they are split like that? Because I am asking or setting up the system right now to give it by requirement. So for example, what is this one about? Right? If I want to see my explosion, right? Let's take a look at what the information has. So this one is actually it's a plant production order. You have this product, right? And you have this plant purchase order. So you have this product on hand, but you need to order this. So right now you know if you will be able to produce something. Now what is the pegging? The pegging is a sales order, right? So I have a sales order number. We are requiring one, and that's where my demand is coming from. Okay, so my critical on-hand inventory is going to show me if I have enough pieces to produce this, right? So I can handle -2, which is my requirement, but I cannot handle -3. I don't have 3 pieces, so I need to put in firm this plant purchase order. Right? So those are kind of the insights that a planner will be able to have, right? A planner can have all these as one line if they want to have it in that way, right? Or we can explode it by resource, by requirement. So same thing. In the other one is you can go and take a look at the explosion again, or let's take a look at the multi-level pegging, right? The multi-level pegging, it's going to tell you in case you have sub-assemblies and more and more and more, it's going to tell you all the different levels of your bombs, right? And it's going to tell you why it's which ones are reserved for what, right? So it's the multi-level paying. That's the idea. Since this bomb probably just have one level, that's why we don't have a several lines as others could be. So this is a safety stock, right? So we are going to produce 5 for safety stock. Again, is make to order, make to stock, right? And the engineer to order, it's actually the same concept, but with engineering hours in front of it, managing those via project. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is the guy on the on the planning side, they are going to see, okay, so I need this for a sales order. Good. When this sales order needs to be delivered? 226. Okay, are we going to be good to uh, well, actually, this doesn't have requested date. That's why it doesn't have anything. For example, this sales order for 3 pieces, it's requested for 226. Can we do it based on my route, based on my capacity, right, and based on the orders that are on the floor right now? The answer from the system is no. You cannot perform this transaction. My suggestion is move it 11 days, right? Can you have these? I mean, if you don't move this, if you don't advance this 11 days, it will be available by 3/9. This is the date that the system will tell you I can have it without any problems. No material issues, no capacity issues, right? This is going to be ready by 3/9. And here is where we start making adjustments. We need to produce this. Manager, make sure that you accommodate your schedules in order to reduce 11 days. Procurement, we have a planned order for this one, right? So we saw it. We saw the explosion. We saw a planned purchase order. Can we have, if I go to this purchase order number 4044, can I have this before May the 4th? Because this is going to reduce my time for delivery. Can I have that? I will call my vendor and I will say, yeah, you know what? I can do it or I cannot. Okay, so the system is actually just telling you where do you need to adjust and make adjustments, right? This is about master planning, and as an overall, it's based on delivery dates and start planning backwards from that delivery date. Do I have on hand? Do I have resources? Hey, I can put it on my line. Okay, that's the idea. Um, once we have our planned orders, right, what is going to be the important thing to take a look in here? I'm going to firm these orders, right? I'm going to firm some of these orders. For example, how do I firm all this stuff? I can select them all, right? I can actually, since those are the same item, let's say I want to, instead generating multiple lines in a PO, I want to group them, right? And it says the same item number, so that's probably because it's selecting something that I don't want to select. So in here, let's go here to planned order. I'm going to group it, right? And this is going to be compressed to one line. okay? And then the way we firm is just we hit the firm button and we hit OK, right? So that's how we can create a planned purchase order to a purchase order or a planned production to a real production order, okay? So I'm going to release one production order just in case. So this process is right now creating a PO. Then in the meantime, I will jump to a different production floor management. So whenever the planner finish their work, right, what is going to be my input as a production floor manager? I need to know what the planner is telling me to schedule and perform and release to my floor, right? And for this one, this is a really useful tool. So I can come here and define, okay, I want to see what do I have to release based on the planner report. What do I need to take care of as of 4/1? I'm going to make a click on my production orders to release, right? And this is what my scheduler and my manufacturing manager is going to take a look. I have all these to release. Hey, I have a problem. Why I cannot release it, and that's the name of the column. Let me just, ready to be released. Why I cannot release it? Because you don't have this material. Why I cannot release this one? Because you don't have these materials, right? So right away, before you send something to the floor, you need to know if you have the materials required, right? Or the capacity required. So right now, you cannot release this two or these three. And the system is giving you an insight. Okay, perfect. So, okay, this is something classic error sometimes. So you can see these ones are my 3 manufacturing orders, right? I have materials available for these 3, right? 10 requested, available physical 84, 15 available physical. So you have that insight right away about how many pieces do you have in your warehouse. But hey, before I release them, because the release button is here, before you do that, I want to see how the system proposed the schedule. So I'm going to take a look at the Gantt chart. And I'm selecting multiple, right? Because I don't want to see one by one. And I want to see this schedule, sorry, based by order. Okay, let's start looking into it. Okay, so I have this colors, right? Based on the type of customer that it's coming from, the system could arrange which one is critical, right? So in this scenario, the red one, it's the critical one. The light purple, it's the second in critical levels. And the third one is the less critical, right? But take a look, it's my first operation for this one has been pushed till March the 3rd, right? I don't want that. This is the critical one, right? My cut over or my cut activity can start in here. Hey, can I start my assembly even before this one? Let's give it a try. How could I manage this one, right? So how could I manage this movement? I'm going to drag and drop, right? So I'm actually just dragging and saying, hey, can I start this on the 19th? And then I need to arrange or schedule the next jobs, right? Because even if I start this on the 19th, I don't want the second operation to go all the way to March 10, right? Can I schedule my next jobs based on this? I can just click that button. As you can see, this one is going to move from March 10 to the next available date, right? So this is the way you can start managing your changes in here and saying, hey, you know what? This is the order I am going to start today. Okay, and I'm going to delay probably this one a little bit, and then I'm going to say schedule my next jobs, and this is going to take all these changes, and then the system will hit validate. The validation option is going to read again your capacity, right? It's going to read the resources that you do have, and if you have a constraint in there that you cannot actually fulfill, then you will receive an error, and the system is going to tell you, hey, you have errors in here. You cannot produce this on this time. Right? So what other things could you do is like, hey, you know what? I want to change, for example, my resource, right? I don't want, and I will see if I have any other resource available. Instead 5133, right? I don't want to use this machine for this process. Let's take a look. Let's see first thing, what are my additional resources, right? So it's you have in here the applicable checkbox. oh, this is one applicable resource. Okay, I'm going to click the OK button, right? And I'm going to refresh this one just to see if it opened my resources over here. Right, so I'm going to come here and I will say, yep, I saw which ones were. I will take an activity. Give me a second, give me a second. It's going to be probably on my resource view. And I'm going to say schedule my job. Well, no, it's actually no. Well, this actually should be taking that one. Give me a second. I'm going to put this one in here. There we go. So I'm going to drag and drop this one to this area. Let me see if I can come here and just take it in here and put it over here. There you go. So you can start, and sorry, this one was based on the view. So I can start dragging and drop things that I want to take out from one area to another, right? So you could start doing all that stuff. Okay, so you want to change resources, you could change your resources, okay? And actually change the dates where this work is going to be starting. The dates are by dragging and dropping my activities to the dates that I want to, right? My resources, it's to change from one side to the other on the resource view, okay? So the way we see this Gantt chart at the end of the day, it's going to be, for example, time scale. Do you want to see this by days? Do you want to see this by hours? Do you want to see this by the minute? Depending on the type of production that you do have, right? And the length of your process, well, this will adapt to that need. Okay, I am just looking by days since my route is by dates and it's kind of easier to see. Okay, once I have all my scheduling or I am okay with the scheduling that I created, well, I'm going to take my 3 orders and the only thing that I will do is hit the release button. Okay, by releasing, as a manager, I am putting this on the floor, right, by dates. Okay, so let's just wait for that. So those get into my production chart. Okay, so again, it's right now probably it's taking a little bit more because we are deploying reports, right? So at the time I release this, probably I'm saying, hey, let's print a paper sheet, right? So under these scenarios like that it's on my floor, and these paper sheets are going to contain the routes, the job IDs, so the people in the floor, they can scan the activities, right? Because they won't be typing, they will be scanning. So if I go and export this to a PDF, for example, or print it, if I send it directly to a printer, it's going to print the barcode. Also, I can have it on PDFs in here, right? So it's my process. This is the process ID that I will be scanning, right? And it's going to tell me when to start, right? When is at which time, what's going to be the end date of which day, okay? What's the quantity that we need to perform? 8 pieces, 8 pieces, 8 pieces, right? So this is a job card by production. That was my first one. This is my second one. This is my third one. Okay, so we can send all those documents to be printed. Now my floor, the guys on my floor, they know what to do, when to perform it, right? So someone is going to dispatch those whenever the time comes based on my schedule. Okay, so the last step that I will take a look in here, it's going to be 2 steps. The first one is just show you the production orders that I created. So we have these 8, 10, and 5, right? So you can see the status is released. We have different statuses: scheduled, report is finished, ended, some day, and for example, release is ready to be pick up on the shop floor. Scheduled is before that, is I'm still working with the resource assignment or the schedule of this production order. Report is finished, the product is on my inventory ready to sell, but not fully costed. My ended, it's my product is ready to be sell, it's on my inventory and it's fully costed, right? So right now I'm going to focus on the release. The last part of my presentation today, it's going to be kind of the shop floor control. Okay, so I'm going to go through my production control, and in here manufacturing execution, job card device. This is the screen. This is the touch screen that my users will be able to see. Okay, nothing else but this. The guys on my floor, this is what they will see. 415, I think it's my personal login number. Hey guys, you have a calendar. Why you are logging at this time? Why you are logging so late? Right? Okay, so you know what? I was just late for work. Why? Because this could or could not, depending on your operation and your desires at the end of the day, could be related to the payroll or not, right? So that's why the system is creating the job time and the time cards, right, in the back end, so you could use it for your payroll. Okay, so I was telling you, right, that we have this value. My business process is this one, right? This is one of the ones that I just created, activity 10. So what I will go in here is like, hey, you know what? Where's my where did I leave it? My job card is in here. So my job ID. Okay, if I scan my job ID in here, I will see, oh, this is what we need to do. Perfect. Okay, so I'm in the floor. Give me instructions, right? Because I need instructions. Okay, so I have assembly instructions in here, right? That I could hit the open button and basically standing on the same screen, I will be able to open it. Okay, so these are the assembly instructions that I need to perform, right? We can add videos, we can add notes, we can add whatever you need to add in every single step of the of the production order, in every single operation, right? So we can add several different things. Okay, so now I have my instructions. Now I know what I need to do as part of a floor user. I'm going to start my job. I'm going to start, yes, 8, right? I could start less than this, right? If I have to, but I'm just going to assume that I'm going to start the 10 or the 8 pieces. So I'm starting this. The system is recording my time. Oh, wait a second. I need to use materials in here as part of this operation, right? So these are the materials that are in my cart in front of me. Hey, yep. So what are these materials? I can see these or not. I can auto post if we need, right? 16 pieces of this product. Perfect. So and in here I'm just kind of posting this manual. We usually don't want the users to do this, but since it's a demonstration over and open, it's like we can make this a step automatically, right? But at this point, the idea is this is your operation. These are your materials, right? And you start producing, and then you will actually report your progress, okay? What is your progress? Good quantities, error quantities, right? What is the cause of the error? It's a material, it's a machine, or it's an operator. What this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to send information to start making decisions on what it's failing. Okay, so I'm going to say that
Yeah,
8 pieces are, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, can we get your presentation down about 5 more minutes so we have time
Yeah,
for Ben?
definitely. Yep,
Okay,
we
thanks.
are heading those 5 minutes. So I'm gonna hit the continue, right? So I have good quantity. I'm gonna say completed. I'm just touching the screens right now. I'm doing with my mouse, but the idea is that. So hit complete, perfect. It goes to the next station, right? And then the next station is going to be actually scanning their next operation. Next operation is this one. Okay. Do I have instructions? I have one different instruction, right? So I'm going to start my job, right, and do the same thing. I am starting 8, yes, because I receive 8. Okay, hit the OK button, report my progress. Same thing, I have everything right, yes, 8 completed, right? Hit complete. We're good until we finish our sequence of operations, right? This is my primary operation 20. I know I have another one that it's called primary operation 30, right? So let me just make sure that if I go to my production order, is this 8? I'm going to take a look at the jobs because the employee is doing that, but the manager should have a vision of which jobs are actually getting performed. You see this one is ended, this one is ended, this one is coming, and this one is coming, right? So I'm going to finish the 990, and I think I will be good with the 3 minutes that I still have. I'm going to start my job, right? I'm going to post there is another material consumption. I'm just going to post it. I don't need to specify anything else. I'm going to report my progress. I'm going to say that I'm done with 8, right? Completed quantity, because this is just a chain, right? The next one goes. And finally, the last one, my production order. In here, it's going to be the 991. Okay, so this is going to be the last one. I'm going to start my job. I'm going to put my quantity. Yes, I am receiving 8, right? I'm going to report my progress. I'm going to put 8 in this scenario, hit complete and hit complete. So you can see it's a very manual and very methodic way to do it, right? Because that's what the guys on the floor, they need. They need a way to be methodic. They need to do the same things every time regarding systems, right? So their work is complex enough to give them another thing to be worried about, right? So it's like start, stop, start, stop. And right now, since it's the last operation, this has been reported as finished, right? That's the way we set it up in here for this instruction. You will see how the status of this one is going to change from released to report as finished. So this is done. This is on my warehouse right now. This is ready to be sell. Okay. Now, once I fully cost this one, I can come here on every production order or a range of production orders and see my view cost comparisons, right? So let's take a look at it. Estimated, it was a total cost of 86 on direct manufacturing, 45 on direct materials, and 21. Why? Because my estimated route takes days to be performed, right? And this is the cost. But you saw how I perform it, right? So I didn't spend 10 minutes. I spent probably 5 minutes doing this. So my direct manufacturing is 35 cents. Okay, that's why I have this great variance. Since I have this great variance, I have a great variance on my indirect, because majority of my indirect costings are performed or are taken out from the time that I'm running a machine and the time that a user it's actually recording time. It's directly proportional to that. Okay, so in this scenario, I did a miracle. I don't know how I created this, right? It's like I reduced 10 hours on my business process, but I have the insight, and then you will evaluate it. Okay, so this is what I had to show you as an overall, right, business process elements, a business process where I have a demand, I run master planning, I firm things, I schedule things, and I execute production orders, right? If you need more detail, please make sure that we will be here to help you. And well, that was my piece. Thank you very much, and I will give the screen to Ben. Thank you, guys.